Elbasan is a city and a municipality in Elbasan County, central Albania. One of the largest cities in Albania, it is located on the Shkumbin River in the district of Elbasan and the county of Elbasan. The present municipality was formed at the 2015 local government reform by the merger of the former municipalities Bradashesh, Elbasan, Funarë, Shirgjan, Gjinar, Gracen, Labinot-Fushë, Labinot-Mal, Papër, Shirgjan, Shushicë, Tregan and Zavalinë, that became municipal units. The seat of the municipality is the city Elbasan. The total population is 141,714, in a total area of 872.03 square kilometers. The population of the former municipality at the 2011 census was 78,703. It was called Neo-Castron in Greek, Novigrad in Slavic and Terra Nuova in Italian. The modern name derives from the Turkish Elbasan. History. Ancient and early Byzantine periods. In August 2010, archaeologists discovered two Illyrian graves near the walls of the castle of Elbasan. In the 2nd century BC, a trading post called Mancios Campa near the site of modern Elbasan developed close to a junction of two branches of an important Roman road, the Via Egnatia, which connected the Adriatic coast with Byzantium. By the 3rd or 4th century AD, this place had grown into a real city protected by a substantial Roman fortress with towers. The fort covered around 300 square meters. This city appears on late antique itineraries like the Tabula Peutingeriana or the Itinerarium Berdagelensis Scampiza Hiscampis. It took part in the spread of Christianity along the Via and had a bishop, cathedral and basilicas as early as the 5th century. As a town in a wide river valley, it was vulnerable to attacks once the legions were withdrawn, but Emperor Justinian made an effort to improve the fortifications. The city survived attacks by the Bulgars and Ostrogoths and was mentioned in the work of Procopius of Caesarea. Ottoman period. The site seems to have been abandoned until the Ottoman army built a military camp there, followed by urban reconstruction under Sultan Mehmed II in 1466. Mehmet constructed a massive four-sided castle with a deep moat and 3 gates. He named it Elbasan, meaning conquered country in Turkish. He had built the castle in order to fight Skanderbeg due to an ongoing conflict between the Ottomans and Albanians. It became the seat of Sanjak of Elbasan, a center of Ottoman urban civilization over the next 445 years. Although Halil and Alsek explains that the Sanjak of Elbasan was established as soon as the fortress of Elbasan was constructed in 1466. Based on Tursun Beg's records, there is a possibility that Elbasan initially was part of the Sanjak of Ohrid. In 1467, many Christians from Skopje, Ohrid, Ses and Kastoria were forcibly deported to Elbasan. By the end of the 17th century, it had 2,000 inhabitants. The fortress was dismantled by Reşat Pasha in 1832. In 1864, the Sanjak of Elbasan became a part of Monastir Vilayet. At the beginning of the 20th century, it was estimated that 15,000 people lived in Elbasan. In 1909, after the Young Turks' revolution in Istanbul, an Albanian National Congress was held in Elbasan to study educational and cultural questions. The delegates, all from central and southern Albania, endorsed the decision of the Congress of Monastir, which was held in Monastir, to use the Latin alphabet rather than the Arabic script in written Albanian. In Elbasan there were living Albanians, Turkish, Armenian and Sephardic Jews. Before the Second World War, Elbasan was a city with a mixture of Eastern and medieval buildings, narrow cobbled streets and a large bazaar. There was a clearly defined Muslim settlement within the castle walls, Ivlach district on the outskirts of the city, and several fine mosques and Islamic buildings. At the time the population was about 15,000 people. The English journalist James David Boucher, then the Balkan correspondent at the Times, records that on a visit in 1911 he saw the population celebrating Bayram in central space. Wonderful primitive merry-go-round with gypsy minstrels, pushed round by the men with poles. Also a cartwheel poised on a treetop peak. Ilvans wrestling, mostly refugees from Dibra, thus gaining a precarious livelihood. Independence of Albania. The very first teachers' training college in Albania, the Shkolla Normali Elbasanit, was established in Elbasan. During First Balkan War, it was occupied by Serbian troops on the 29th of November 1912. They withdrew from Elbasan on the 25th of October 1913 due to United Kingdom and Austria-Hungary's ultimatum. The Muslim majority of Elbasan opposed the installation of Prince Wied in 1914. Elbasan was occupied successively by Serbs, Bulgarians, Austrians and Italians between 1915 and 1918. The Bulgarian army occupied Elbasan on January 29, 1916. During Bulgarian occupation of Albania in March 1916, the army of Austria-Hungary took over control of Elbasan from June 1916 to March 1917. Stanislav Kostka-Neumann fought with the Austrian army there and called his war memoirs about the occupation in Elbasan. Industrial development began in the Zogis period when tobacco and alcohol factories were established. The city was also noted for its good public buildings, advanced educational provisions, public gardens and timber-built shops. There was much wartime damage, which was followed by an intensive program of industrial development in the communist period that boosted the city to around 75,000 inhabitants. The culmination of this process was the construction of the huge steel of the Party metallurgical complex outside the city, in the Shkumbin Valley, built with Chinese assistance in the 1970s. It was emphatically called the Second National Liberation of Albania by Enver Hoxha. The cost of the complex in environmental impact was high for the Shkumbin Valley. In 2014, the Albanian government reconstructed former Rushdi Bizhuta Stadium. The renovated Elbasan Arena became the home stadium of the Albanian national football team and Albania's de facto stadium, meeting FIFA's criteria. Culture and religion. Elbasan has been occupied by several different groups, including the Serbs, Bulgarians, Austrians and Italians. Elbasan remained a center of Islam in Albania even after the Ottoman occupation. After the 1908 Congress of Monastir decided to use the Latin alphabet for the written Albanian language, Muslim clerics influenced by the Young Turks held various demonstrations in favor of the Arabic script in Elbasan. In the middle of the city is found the St. Mary Orthodox Church. The church was built in 1830 on the foundations of an older church, which had partially burned in 1819. Paintings and frescoes of Onufri, restored by David Salinikasi and Kostadin Shelkani, can still be seen. The church has been an important religious and cultural center for the Albanian language. Teodor Haksafilipi, Kostand and Christoforidi, and Alexander Xhuvani have served in the church. They are the authors of translations into Albanian of many psalms. The church building served as the first Albanian school of Elbasan in modern times, which opened in 1908. Other Orthodox churches in the Elbasan Elbasan district include the Mameli Church, the St. Nicholas Church in Shirgjan, the St. Nicholas Church in Zavalinë, the Saints Cosmas and Damian Church in Sturstane, the St. Michael Church in Shales, the St. Mary Church in Dragit, the St. Nicholas Church of Elbasan, and the Elbasan St. Athanasius Church of Elbasan. About 7 kilometers away from Elbasan there is an old monastery and Orthodox church where notably St. Jovan Vladimir was buried until 1995, when his remains were transferred to the Orthodox Cathedral in Tirana, being brought back to the monastery only for his feast days. Elbasan is home to the National Autocephalous Albanian Church, a relatively new Orthodox autocephalous church that split from the Albanian Orthodox Church in 1995. Father Nicol Marcu is the leader of the new denomination. Elbasan is also home to a Catholic church. Elbasan has 4 museums: Ethnographic Museum held in an 18th-century building, Kostandant Kristofori House, Shkolla Normal Museum, War Museum. Elbasan is the home to the Summer Day festivities, a pagan feast celebrating the end of winter and the coming of summer. Balakum, cookies made from butter and corn wheat, is the traditional dish served in this day. Since 2004, it has become a national holiday, being celebrated in Tirana on a Monday in mid-March. Economy. Industrial development began during the Zog regime with the production of tobacco and alcoholic beverages, and culminated during the communist regime. The city gained prominence after the Chinese built a steel mill in 1974. There were also other industries operating in the city during the communist regime. Notable people: Sadefka Mehmed Aga, 16th century architect. Dervish Bej Bajkakus, signatory of the Albanian Declaration of Independence. Miriam Kani, singer. Sheke Bejdaiu, signatory of the Albanian Declaration of Independence. Akif Pash Elbasani, proclaimed the independence of the Elbasan November 25, 1912, Interior Minister of Albania in 1914, President of the Provisional Government in 1916 and a Member of Parliament in 1926. Ibrahim Bajkakcu, a former Prime Minister of Albania. Dreten Kici, writer, painter, publisher, TV producer, and philanthropist. Kemal Bej Karaosmani, signatory of the Albanian Declaration of Independence. Kostandant Kristofori, translator in Albanian of the New Testament. Eliafnosi, signatory of the Albanian Declaration of Independence. Dimitar Shuteraki, writer and critic. Twin towns, sister cities. Elbasan is twinned with Novi Ligure, Italy; Turku, Finland; Treviso, Italy; Mitrovica, Kosovo; Newcastle upon Tyne, United Kingdom; Iquitos, Peru;